There's a really, really good documentary that I just watched on The Secret of Oz. I'll post a link so you can see it free. Um, it really dives into the history of money and how money has worked, and the need we need to see that gold and silver is the worst possible thing we can go down. And that's where this Illuminati, the wealthy, everybody that's controlling everything, is trying to put value back into gold and silver. This is what gives them more power. If you believe in gold and silver, it's your own freaking destruction and you can't even see it. There's so many different things we've tried with money and it's failed and it's out of the history books. You will not see this because they've taken what works out of all of our history books. And who's doing that? Who's in control? It's the corporate world. It's the bankers. They don't want you seeing what works because, they don't want you to put the pieces of the puzzle together of what actually works. And the dumber you are, the more they can control you. And you can see we're kind of losing control, but this documentary definitely unfolds some solutions available to us. And every American should be watching this, and if you really believe in your politicians, your local politicians, then this will give you some power. And this has been going on. I think it's Dakota that has this banking system, and they're not having any problems. So, if you want to know how to bring back more power to your own state, and you want to know what is a good economic system to put into place, this is one solution. It's well worth looking at. And there's this guy, like a lot of people don't really know this, but The Wizard of Oz, a lot of these shows that we have in there, they're like little hints to show you what's going on so you can sort of see a bigger picture, because it's been illegal for us to say the truth. Do you know it's illegal to even say that you have a cure for anything? Like it is totally illegal to say there's a cure to cancer. So even if you came up with a cure to cancer, you can't say that it's a cure. It's against the law. Kind of insane. But yeah, the truth about anything is actually illegal to post the truth about anything, which means a lie is the only thing that's legally you're able to say. So how do we get the truth out there somehow? Well, we put it in our music. There is some music that does tell you the truth, and we do put it in some of our art and some of our films, so you got to kind of read between the lines and see what are the messages that people are saying. And The Wizard of Oz is written back in the 1800s, believe it or not. And you'll see it in this documentary that Dorothy, the slippers, they were put into ruby slippers, but they were meant to be silver. And the association was silver and gold. Walking with silver on the path of gold, like there is a big association with that. But because they had color TV back then, they wanted these ruby red slippers. And, like when you were trying to produce this film, yeah, it needed to be changed because those that were producing it didn't really quite see the, oh, I was producing the truth, didn't know it, so they thought they were producing a children's book and not really knowing that, yeah, these big elites were producing little messages to ourselves. Now, the scarecrow represents farmers and the struggles that farmers had, and they wanted to to have a brain, because all farmers don't seem to have a brain. While at the end it shows you did have a brain, you just needed to trust in yourself and follow yourself, type of thing. And the Tin Man represents all labor workers, factory workers, and just give me some oil so that I can move freely within this economic system. I forget what he was searching for, but watch this documentary, it'll unfold it. And then the lion, the lion was looking for courage. It's like that's the representation of our politicians, like there are lions that are speaking for us, but he falls asleep in poppy fields, he's like drugged by the temptation of wealth, and ends up losing his fire when he gets to the big old wizard, or the guy behind the curtain. And at the end of the day, when you get to the big Wizard of Oz, and you find out the magic, it's just some guy, some small little guy that's making himself look big and powerful, and but he's just a small guy behind the curtain. And the ultimate story is you have the power in you all along. You just have to um, see it and believe in yourself. And a lot of the things that I'm saying are perfectly in line with those messages too. So I'm going to provide a link to this documentary. If you really want to see how much power we have in changing our economic systems and which system works and which won't, it's well worth looking at. Gold and silver, who owns it? All of the rich people own gold and silver. So if you think you need to buy gold and silver, guess what? You're only putting value to it because you're making it look important, and we all need to make it look important. And by you having the very, very small little bit of gold and silver that you have in comparison to what these wealthy people have, they bring power and control to what you can do with that gold and silver. And what these bankers are doing is all they have to do is take out of circulation what it is they, if they want to cause a depression, then they just hold on to their gold. They got everything that they want. They don't give a shit whether you don't have enough, but the flow of money is what makes sure that you have enough. And as long as there's any form of entity that's controlling that flow, they can say, I'm going to create a depression. I'm going to create a recession. They can do anything because they're the puppet masters because they own it. They control how much gets in the flow of it because they have it all. It's all going to be a matter of how much they want to put into the economy. If they want to hold it, it's causing the depression. So if we want to look at why our economies are crashing and why, look at these people. They got all the money. It's not like our money went anywhere. All the money in the friggin' world is in somebody's pocket. And these people are just not wanting to put it back into the flow of what makes us survive. So they're definitely holding it off. And if you're going to give them more power by, okay, let's just put it in gold and silver, as long as they're the ones being in control of how much they're going to put into it, then you lose all power. So the money systems that we need to create, us the people need to own it. And us the people need to have it flowing within our economic systems. And there's, save for a rainy day. If you're going to keep that money saved, that's the insanity of the Illuminati. They're always saving it for another day when they can use it and it benefits them. You've got to sort of trust in the future, that as long as you are a productive human being, there will always be a flow of money. And there's it's bullshit that you got to retire at a certain age or that you even age. You will age the minute you stop being productive. And it does not mean that you have to be a laborer. It doesn't, it's a matter of finding a way of doing something you absolutely love, something that keeps you young, something that keeps you alive, and find a way of earning a living doing that. And even if you were 100 or 200, as long as you're doing what you love doing and it's keeping you young, you end up feeding yourselves. That part is a really, really wild concept, but I know the Illuminati has you thinking that you have to die really, really young, but kind of look at it's the way we're living our lives that are killing us. All of these sins that, the Illuminati has convinced to do is what's killing us. And all of our diseases and illnesses, they're all created by how we're living right now. And if we made a big change, a lot of these viruses that we need vaccines for, they're very much created. Stop creating that, or even know how to beat it without a medication. I never got a cold or a flu for well over 15 years. I was drinking out of cups of people that are dead from a flu, and I never got it. There is a way of healing that we need to sort of learn a different way. But there's great profit in you dying. That's the biggest way of earning any money, is making sure everybody dies and profiting off of the process of them dying, and you'll get rich. There's no better way of doing it. But if you kind of don't die, then those people making money off your coffins, they're going to have to find a different way of earning a living because you're not going to be dying as fast. Then we get into the overpopulation bullshit, and it's like, No, that's just a problem because we don't know how to deal with it. We don't understand it, but there is definitely a way to solve even that problem. So, peace out. Hope that helps.